two names that you should recognize if you ever watch StarCraft at all. Move this thing over. Move over. There you go. It is the Mexican Terran player. He is not only great, but he's also special. Oh, that's the beauty of being able to go through these later on. And one of my favorite Zergs, the Norwegian Titan. It is Snute.
Your
Thank you, MTB.
will be rewarded.
Now it's Zerg versus Terran. It's kind of a clash of styles as well. And while I haven't watched these matches before, I do know who wins. I wasn't able to catch WCS Leipzig live. But we have the replays, so we can go over it now. And anybody, these are not like restricted. I didn't get special access or something. On the WCS site, they have the replays. Anyone can go look at them at any time. So that's what we're doing now. Well, let's first talk about their styles, and then let's talk about Terran versus Zerg in general. Snute is usually a more defensive player. He'll sit back on a bunch of queens. He'll work his way up to hive tech with good creep spread, deflecting things. Usually when he decides to be in a more aggressive mode, it doesn't go as well. That's not to say he won't cheese or take an opportunity, but a more defensive player. Whereas Special, on the other hand, is kind of the opposite. He's always trying to be in your face. He's trained in Korea. He speaks a lot with the Korean players. He's trying to always be up in your grill, getting something done somehow. Doesn't matter what it is. It's a Liberator, a Reaper. You might be like, well, one Liberator is not going to do damage if he has 5 queens. But if he's microing with a Reaper, 4 Hellions, and sending in a Cloak Banshee somewhere else at the same time, maybe it will. So he's a really in-your-face type of guy. Ooh. Wait, did Special SCV Scout? No. I just want to point out here, Snute went for a pool first. And he was trying to sneak a couple Zerglings to delay a command center. But Special actually sent his Reaper out to the location where, if Snute was doing exactly that, he would be sending his Zerglings to try to evade the Reaper. So, amusingly enough, if Snute had just sent his Zerglings straight down the middle, he would have gotten there, and he would have been able to delay the CC. But because he was trying to avoid the Reaper, Special countered that and blocked it. So, a bit of a what? Is that a what? Now, as of the patch this was played on, Ghosts still start with Cloak. Not that that's a huge deal. That's a Ghost Academy. Okay. I mean, this is not a huge... A lot of people don't think of Ghosts as an early game unit. Now, here's the thing. The Ghost Snipe does 170 damage. Does 170 damage. Which means it one-shots Roaches, Ravagers. It brings Queens to 5 HP. Snipe is actually incredibly good. Well, technically called steady targeting, but it's actually very good. And the thing is, Ghosts themselves and Hellions are very good against Zerglings. The Ghosts 2-shot Zerglings, Hellions 3-shot with splash damage. So you can't just make Zerglings, you need these more powerful units. So Hellions and Ghosts make an actually incredibly strong combination. Of course, if they get caught out of position, can't get your snipes off on the Queens or Roaches or Ravagers or something like that, it all kind of falls apart. But, oh my god, a Zergling gets in. A Zergling gets in. But this is a special strat indeed. The Zergling, I believe, saw the Ghost. Wait, has he seen any Ghosts? He ran by one, right? I'm pretty sure. A lot of Zerglings are out now, but remember, he can also cloak the Ghost for some temporary lack of detection. It costs a lot of energy, though. And that means you don't have as many snipes. It costs 25 energy to cloak, and it drains energy every second. But will he just try to lay down a snipe on one of these Queens? He does. 1 shot, 1 kill, as long as you tap it with anything beforehand. More Lings on the way, but an Armory is following this up. Snute going for the counterattack. The drone count, 44-37. Snute has been able to sneak out a lot. Now, one thing to point out, no real creep spread. Immediately shut down. This Queen targeted as well. The Ghost adding a lot of damage. Burned to the ground, but the Lings get in at the same time. Lings at the front. No Hellbat Specialist caught on both sides. The wall is down. The armory will complete. A lot of the Hellions gonna fall, but the Ghosts survive. He can actually snipe these out. Another snipe coming out. 3 SCVs have fallen so far. He's forced to fight. The Hellions aren't quite there yet. At the same time, Special is breaking through the front. He hasn't killed any drones yet. 9 SCVs falling. 11, 12. This is critical damage now. And it doesn't look like Special has broken through on the other side. That is a smart counterattack and a unfortunate timing there. Snute timing both sides out incredibly well. The Ghosts almost blocking the Hellions from going back home to get repaired. So that could have gone either way. If Special was on top of both the defense and the offense, then Snute would have just wasted a lot of money on Zerglings, and the attack would be very scary. But instead, both the army got jumped by a bunch of Zerglings, and back at home, there was nothing to defend. So now Special in quite a deficit. Down 30 supply. Now, one big thing. There's no lair from Snute. He does not have a lair, which means he doesn't have access to Roach Speed, to maybe Hydralisks. Baneling Speed. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what he wants to do. He is getting ranged attacks, so we're going to be focusing more on the Roaches here, but still no lair. So he's going to be almost entirely reliant on Ravagers in order to break up this army. And, of course, the Queens. We already talked about the Queens. He has 10 Queens. Oh, my God. 10 Queens. These Ghosts are pretty bruised, but they will have a couple snipes on each one. In an ideal scenario, the Ghosts will get the snipes off on the Queens, potentially just taking out a wave of them early. He hasn't built any additional Ghosts here. He's going to sit on 3. The boys are pulled. This is it. The SCVs are coming. The repair on the Cyclones is very scary. Snute has gone up to 70 drones. Oh, no. 69 drones, actually, to be exact. That's probably too many. He thought Special. Well, there's no going back now. The repair coming through. Will we see the snipes? 2 snipes. He actually double sniped 1 Queen. A little bit of a mistake. But he can continue to snipe through. Is there enough for Snute? The SCV is still taking a lot of the damage. Snute trying to hold, but he has to retreat. He has to retreat. Another snipe, another Queen. The Lings are coming in. Snute dropping in supply. He's got Roaches on the way. 1-1 is not quite done. This army's still terrifying. He's tearing through the front, but the SCVs are down. Special is down to 23. They're still... Oh, he's actually going to defend the net. Snute dropping heavily, but he still has all of his hatcheries. He hasn't lost many drones. This army's starting to thin out. Another snipe finishes off a Roach. He's out of energy on these Ghosts, but he still has plenty of Cyclones to help push through. The upgrades are done. The drones are off the line to help with the fight. The rest of the reinforcements are coming across the map. Special trying to pull a rabbit out of his hat right now in attempting to break through. It's looking like it's actually working here. The army supply in favor of Special. He just has these powerful units. The Cyclones refuse to die. This Spinecrawler never going to see the light of day again. The Queen's holding on. He still has several despite all the ones that were sniped off. Oh no, more snipes across the board. But the Queens get the transfuses at the last second. Snute holding on. Special doesn't really have the economy to continue to build after this. He's trying to build SCVs. The Roaches bring it all together. He consolidates his forces in a slugfest of a game. But Snute, on the back of the Queens, holds on. Gee. What a mess. If one last run-by had happened, you can easily see Snute losing that game. Right. But we're going into game 2. Snute picking up the first match, but that was not an easy one. Both sides trading massive blows. Special with a couple more clones, a couple more SCVs. There's not too much to break down there. It's like, well, Special's build was... The Ghost Hellion is very potent, but it does rely on being on top of your units at all times. Snute jumped him a couple too many times and thinned it out. And then I think Snute did what a lot of Zerg players are guilty of doing, and he made way too many drones. He went from, he was already up, he was at like 44 to 28 or 29 drones to SCVs. Now, in hindsight, you'd be like, okay, I'll make 10 more drones and then we'll make units. Because he doesn't have that many SCVs. I killed a bunch. No, Snute made like 25 more drones and almost died because of it. And that is something not just that happens to Snute, it happens to every Zerg. And we'll see if that mistake, and I think it was a mistake, it just barely wasn't enough of one. If that's repeated, and if Special finds a way to exploit it. It is going to be another pool first. Snute seems to really like the pool first. Now, against double proxy racks, pressure, against... Well, nobody really does Mass Reaper anymore. But you get your queens out quicker, and you have a small chance. You have a small chance to delay the command center if they're not really paying attention. Special was pretty diligent about dealing with that last time. He doesn't send out an SCV scout, so important note. And I'd like to point out Snute's Overlord pathings. 1, scouting for proxies. 2, making sure that any early Marines aren't going to even get close to touching them, as he sends them all the way around the corners. Very conservative pathing. The Reaper is looking for these lings. I love what Snute has done. He's split them off on both sides. Special hasn't quite found any Zerglings yet. I think he just got vision of one. Yeah, there you go. Is there going to be a Marine here? But where's the other Zergling? Special can do a little bit of critical thinking. The Zerglings are always born as twins. So where is his brother? He's going to keep the Reaper at home. Just keep it safe. Not worry about... Let's be honest. There's no damage going to come out from early Reaper harass against players of this caliber. And it is risky if you don't SCV scout. So... The lack of Reaper damage is negated by the fact one more SCV is mining. Is the summary in the early game. Alright. Reaper looking towards the 3rd. We'll find it. What is Special's choice out of this? He's going to have a tech lab. Yep. But this could mean anything. This could actually be Cloaked Banshees. A lot of the time, we're just going to see a Viking and then a Liberator with the option for Cloaked Banshees. You want the option for them, just in general, because of, 1, potential Queen drop all-ins, 2, Roach pressure. So just having a Tech Lab starport covers a lot of bases. It does look like Special is convinced it's not going to be some sort of early all-in, though. He's getting a medevac. He's getting an armory. And it's going to be a quick Hellbat push. Alright. A push from the front. Will he actually try to run by? You don't want to... It's very risky to run by because this is all reliant on the early Hellbat pressure. You need to do something. You need to do something with it, ideally. And if you lose any Hellions, that takes a lot of punch out of it. He's just confirming where the queens are here. Do we have a Viking? No Viking to follow this up. This is all just direct. That's what we're seeing here. The Ling trying to run by, but they're already Hellions. It's going to be a Hellion drop in the main. He does have the armory done, but Snute, Overlord here. Let's look at Snute's vision. This ain't happening. Will he actually go for the Hellbats right off the bat? No, he goes for the Roast. And Snute lining up a few drones there. Okay, but if the medevac goes down, I don't know about this, Shaw. The Queen's on their own. Now, if he goes back into Hellion mode, he's more vulnerable, but... Oh, God, they can feel the heat. There are more Hellions on the side. He brings in a couple more. But Snute's Queens gonna throw this back. And at the same time, 2 SCVs went down to a light Zergling counterattack. I think it was 2 or 4 Lings he counterattacked with. So Snute just deflected all of this, and he killed the medevac, which means there's no repeated threats. There's nothing else that can really threaten here besides the Cloak Banshees. And he did complete Cloak, right? Yes. No Spore Crawlers out of Snute. Well, it's a bit of a mind game, Because Snute didn't scout with an Overlord. I'll just be honest, like, you don't expect a Cloak Banshee follow-up. It doesn't really make any sense. You maybe expect a Liberator, but the Cloak Banshee kind of seems weird to be a follow-up for the Hellion drop. It seems like you're going in a completely different direction. So Snute made a calculated risk. He said, you're not going to go Cloak Banshee. I don't need Spore Crawlers. I have plenty of Queens. Well, he did go Cloak Banshee. He didn't have Spore Crawlers, so he loses 5 drones, and the Banshee going to continue to contain. But at the same time, the Roach Special has no units. Wait a second. There are no units here. Just the Banshees. The Banshees desperately coming across. Snute going in. He doesn't have a terrible drone count either. The wall is holding. There's only 4 in the way of Marines. Snute being driven back. Special, is he holding this with 4 Marines and 2 Banshees? And, of course, the SCVs who are giving their lives for the wall. The wall will not be breached. The Banshees will hold. Special will lose 10 SCVs, but he has 3 command centers, 1-1 on the way, and Snute just started a lair. Oh, my. I didn't even realize he was making so many units. If he had gotten in, that's so many dead SCVs. That was so many legs. But Special just held a 40-something supply attack with 4 Marines and 2 Banshees. And, of course, the SCVs who gave their lives. That is, a little ill-fated there from Snute. Now, of course, he has a good economy. That's not going to be the be-all, end-all. But Special now has... He can get his 3rd base pretty much for free. The lair is delayed, which means he's going to have map control. There's nothing that can really move across the map besides Zerglings for a long while. He's going to even maybe see the lair finishing. Ooh. Didn't quite get that kill. Yeah, the lair's not even done. He just start... If he kills an evolution chamber, that's going to get worse and worse. Are there any transfuse? Oh, no. 1 transfuse comes out. 1 Banshee taken down, but Special moving in. Stimming across. He saw that the roaches had actually come back for some reason. He's just going to go for the 4th base. Stim forward. Easy snipe. So, in defending that attack, while Snute still has a good economy, Special has map control. He has all the mobility units. Snute has no force multiplier here. What that means, he has no units that could threaten across the map. He has to play defensive. So all of Snute's supply lead is negated by the fact that if he attacks, he leaves himself vulnerable to so many different angles, it's not even worth it. So map control, and every creep tumor that goes down, every base that's canceled, every medevac still on the other side of the map increases that control. So Snute has to play defense, and that allows Special. He's up at 66 SCVs. He's got full production. He's getting 2-2 before 1-1 is done. He's in the driver's seat in this game right now. He's in the main. He's in the net. Well, I'm not sure about this drop. Well, that didn't go so well. That was best case scenario there for Snute. That's actually going to hurt, as that was his only real threat on the right side of the map, which gives Snute a little bit more breathing room. Now, roaches are a very easily... If both players are maxed out and one player is going for roaches, that player should lose. Because roaches are cheap and supply heavy. The quality of Special's army when it maxes out is going to be much, much higher than Snute's. Which means Snute needs to try to trade away some of these units for more effective units, like Broodlords and Infestors. But he's maxing out now, and Special's not really close to 1. Even with the 2-2, the numbers are heavily in favor of Snute. And before 2-2 finishes, he has a good chance of breaking any real push. Now, siege tanks are scary, but they don't have +1. There's about 30 seconds here where if Snute collapses on this army, this is a very realistic chance of breaking it. If he doesn't hit before the 2-2 and the +1 mech weapons, though, this gets a lot scarier. Ooh, Special backing off, realizing that might be a little bit too much. 15 seconds. He's cutting off. Every tank counts. Whoa! Oh, God. Okay. Oh. That hurts. Liberators sieging up as well. The Queen not quite in position. The Queen's going out. Not quite realizing where they're supposed to be. And now 2-2 is done. +1 mech weapons, and Special is holding this location very strongly. We got some Corruptors coming up. This push is incredibly hard to break on the ground. Snute's going to lose a lot of units breaking out. Now, one thing, there's only 2 medevacs and no Liberators. Most of Special's a lot of Special's army isn't here right now. Snute is going out to catch the reinforcements. He will find them. Now, has he left enough at home? Oh, big tank shots coming in. No transfuses from the Queens. A little bit of a mistake. Armies being killed on either side. Who has the better trade? Special's on the 4th base. That's what he needs. That's what he wants. If he gets the 4th, he lost a bit on the other side, but if he gets the 4th base, it's a worthy trade. Another army coming in from the side, targeting down Ravagers. The tank's getting plenty of shots off. Broodlords are on the way, but will they be enough to save Snute? The 4th base under heavy fire. He needs to save it. He needs to save it. It's dead. Snute down to 3 bases against a 4-base Terran. He's down in upgrades. He's pinned back into his own base. Oh yeah, there was a Banshee. Remember that guy? One Broodlord comes out, very angry at what has happened here. Unfortunately, that one Broodlord, not very scary. A triple drop going in towards the main. He will boost past here, but there's no units that can really shoot down medevacs right now. He doesn't have infestors to hold him in place. He doesn't have Hydras. He doesn't have really any Corruptors either. But Snute is strong on defense, but is he strong enough? Still breaking these Broodlords is going to be difficult. There are still plenty of drones. Snute is almost maxed out. It's not over yet, but he can't be losing Broodlords. Oh, the tanks aren't sieged. He has to pick up. Now, once again, Snute, the master of defense. Oh no! Oh, if he had gotten 2. Oh, here's one Corruptor. Special losing it. Oh, he now boosts in. Oh no. The Broodlord should be able to clean this up. Another strike on the 4th. There's a handful of units on the right side coming in as well. Getting anything, especially a Viper, would be nice. This drop actually did end up killing some. A cancel comes out from Snute. He's beset on all sides. Special hasn't, aside from the first attack, Special hasn't really had to defend anything. This is just not a... It's a clunky army out of Snute. He doesn't have infestors. He has Broodlords, Corruptors, Roaches, and Ravagers. This is, I can't believe this Banshee is still here. Will he actually try to Corrosive Violet? No. Don't get too fancy. Special continue, like, even he can't keep track of where he's sending everything. We've got Vikings on the way. No ghosts is a key point. Going straight for the Vikings to directly counter. Throw out some Corrosive Bows to try to get a hit. Still no infestors. I think there's 1 or 2 Vipers. I'm not sure where they are. A triple drop in the main. Snute sends some units back to defend. It's 3-3 against 2-2, but 3-3 is on the way for Snute. The Viper is out. The Queen will finally take down this Banshee. This drop will be repelled. Looks like... he gets another drop. Special continuing to move. He can't eat any Corrosive Biles. I mean, Snute is holding. The elastic Zerg. He can bend, but he has yet to break. Special keeps trying to hit him from the left, from the right, from the back. And he's holding. He's got creep spread outside of his bases. Not much, but some. Special dips off. At what point does Special put everything together? He needs to consolidate his forces. These drops aren't cutting it. Eventually, Snute is banking money. Snute can be so cost-effective when he's backed into a corner. And once again, he's backed into a corner. And guess what? He refuses to die. The cornered Snute is the most dangerous. Of course, Special, a master of just keeping the pressure on no matter what's happening. Oh god, there. A few more drones go down, but that means Snute's army is larger. That's a lot of medevacs. Oh god, that tank out. There really aren't that many Marines here, though, and tanks work both ways. There are only 3 Broodlords, but there's a... well, there you go. That's what we were waiting for. There are no Hydras. Corruptors were the only anti-air. Is this the checkmate? There's a drop in the back as well. A single Broodlord would try to defend. Not all the units are dropped out. He stims through. Snute's still trying to hold. Oh, Parasitic Bomb doing terrible, terrible damage. A lot of the Vikings badly bruised, some taken out. The Viper is the only defense, really. A handful of Queens and the Viper. He only has the one. One Corruptor, two... He only has 2 Queens on the whole map. He's building 4 more. Special has every base on this side, literally now. The Roach Ravager looking for an opportunity. A lot of tanks going to go down. Beautiful flank here. The tanks aren't all sieged up, but Roach Ravager is just not that cost-effective. Wait, I take it back. No, the tanks are all stacked up. He gets the Roaches there. Snute fights back. Special loses 50 supply in seconds. Finally, Snute chooses his fight, and it's potentially a winning one. Now, ending the game with Roach Ravager is incredibly hard. If there are a few tanks, there are still medevacs here. I don't know if he can just end the game. We do have the Ghost Academy. He's going to be able to target down one of those tanks. That's still a tough position for Roach Ravager to move into. He may have to pull some of the boys. He does. 15 drones have gone down. It looks like there was a drop on the right side. That means Snute back. That's the wrong button. Down to 43 drones. And Roach Ravager is not particularly cost-effective, but Special at 120 supply. Snute essentially all in with this attack. Special just needs to hold. He has plenty of economy. He has plenty of tech. Bio in even numbers will win this fight. He brings 2 of the tanks back to the safety of the wall. Once again, Snute gonna try to break through, but once again, Special will hold strong. Some more SCV is called up to the fight. But this is just Roach Ravager. Even though Snute's ahead on supply, that doesn't mean his army is necessarily better, but it is bigger. And size does matter. Will he be able to knock down the orbital? So many corrosive biles. I think Special's just going to let this one go, but he has pretty much all of the other bases, so... So Snute making more drones, starting to realize I don't have any money. I think we'll see the Infestors see some usage here. He's pretty heavy on the gas, but does not have the minerals. The perfect time for Infestors, especially with this many Ravagers. But Special holds, and he has a huge economy, and he's back even. It just seems like he refuses to break. Snute, to his credit, broke out and once again found an opportunity to go across the map. But he couldn't finish the job. And now what? It has to be time for... Oh, he's spending more money on Ravagers. He's desperate. Snute's still desperate, even after all of that. He knows Roach Ravager is not the tech you want to have. If you ask a Zerg, you're like, yeah, just Roach Ravager, no Infestors, no Vipers, barely any Broodlords. I'm into that. No one's saying that. This base is very vulnerable. And this is one of the only fresh bases. There's a lot of drones here as well. Oh, a huge army from Special. Snute, very close to maxed out. I don't know how he always does it, but 18 drones fall. He's back to 45. How many Broodlords? 1. There is 1 Brood. The tanks with a concave from downtown. Snute somehow still at 183 supply. The Broodlord is transfused back to life. 3 more Broodlords are the choice. Snute's army is massive. He refuses to die. And Special, with every base on his side of the map, still trying to figure out a way to kill him. The Queens come out. The Corrosive Biles knock down a Liberator. Snute trying to re-expand. The Broodlords could break this tank line. There's another army out of Special. It doesn't stop. But Snute won't die. This base is going down. He gets the cancel. Not that it... Well, it actually does matter. Every mineral... No, Snute! Gonna get a couple of the tanks. Oh, and some medevacs as well. Pretty nice. But he's bending. He's stretched to the limit here. He doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the drones. He doesn't have the greatest army either. Some Corrosive Biles will land. But the Broodlords are the only thing that really gives him the power to push back. And the Broodlords are the definition of an immobile unit. There's 1 tank at the back. Snute still holding. Another base under fire. A triple drop going for the main. There's nothing to actually shoot it down. He just has to wait. But there's nothing that can kill area. There's like no more. There's maybe 3 or 4 Marines in there. Another attack on the right, though. Special with the 1-2 again and again and again. Do we have some ghosts? Do we have ranged Liberators? Oh, a Parasitic Bomb doing very good damage to these medevacs. He might actually take down 1. Yes, with units in it. Snute holding. Snute back into supply lead. He just won't die. These roaches just infesting everything. The medevacs are almost gone. The Broodlord should be gone, but Special back on the right, coming down the center. He's pretty much stopped making medevacs. He says, I'm just going straight bio. That's so much bile. There are no infestors. Oh, the biles actually kind of will connect. No, he dodges them artfully. And Snute, once that momentum shifts, it gets really ugly for a Zerg player. Coming in from the back as well, the flank. He might be able to kill even some more. Get some of the medevacs. And the supplies are even, but Special's back on the left. The Broodlords will hold. The base will be targeted down. Special has been on almost 8 bases throughout this. Snute has barely touched 4. But he won't die. Another attack on the right side. These units have stimmed themselves almost to death, but they still have fight left in them. This base could finally go down. It has still plenty of gas left. The queens are targeted. The medevacs are out of energy, but the base will go down. Snoot's going for it. He's got to go for the planetary. Where are the broods? The broods are back on defense, which means there's nothing but a Viper. Oh, the planetary's still holding. This is so much bio. He has plenty of medevacs. But there is a blinding cloud. Wait, was the Viper targeted down? I don't know. There's some SCVs in the mix, too. The corrosive bile's working through. Snute continues to press. Special dropping in supply. But the reinforcements continue to push out. Snute holds. 17 SCVs go down. He's down to 46, but he has so many bases. Doesn't even matter. Corrosive biles work both ways. Another tank. More medevacs. More bile. Special is stimming, but is he winning? It might be the deciding moment. He dodges. Snute to 100 supply. He just has the Broodlords left. There's nothing underneath them. He couldn't bring the Broodlords together with the army, and once again, Snute pushes back. But once again, Snute cannot break through. And this time, he's on 39 drones. He has 1 base mining. And Special now has probably the biggest supply lead he's had the entire match. A scan, looking for any bases. 1 casual tank. Snute has to go. All the queens, everything he has left. But another drop. Special never stops. Oh no, the Broodlords are a little out of position here. He has 1 binding cloud. He uses it beautifully. He has some transfuses. He needs to keep those broods alive. He's trying to hold. He has a couple more transfuses. There's just too much bio. Snute, GG, and Special will take game number 2. Special never let up. Snute fought back like a champion, but he never ever let up. But there was always a drop.
Dedication will be rewarded.
9 months.
Thank you, Mr. Jockson.
Feels like 36 weeks. Beep, boop, beep.
447. How many games do you see more Terran units lost than Zerg? That shows you how cost-effective... Well, that pretty much Special was playing what is customarily Zerg, and Snute was playing what is customarily Terran with that cost efficiency. Like, if Snute had tried to... The only thing I think Snute... He never felt like he had the time to get things like Infestors. That's why. I mean, it might be like, why didn't he get any other units? You can't just get other units when somebody's dropping 3 locations at once and killing all your mining. You have to rely on what you have. And he did. I think a few Infestors at the right time could have turned it, maybe. That might have been the only real choice besides more Ravagers, but Snute felt the heat. And eventually got burned. Hydras are not the choice in that scenario. Hydras can't take out tanks. Ravagers can. If you think Hydras were a better choice there in that exact scenario against those armies, you are wrong. Otherwise, Snute would have made a Hydra den. Snute is the best, arguably the best player at playing defensive, especially against Terran. If he thought a Hydra den was a better choice, he would have made one. But the pressure was so high. Now, let's see if that continues into game 3. I don't think you understand how hard it is to defend what Special was doing. I think at some point I might like to go back and look at Special and Snute's cameras during those games. That would be a really good game to look at both sides and see the defense and the offense and the just dichotomy of styles. Because Special is that hyper-aggressive, always trading, always microing, always dropping Terran, and Snute just keeps bending. He keeps taking hits. He's like Rocky. The Rocky Zerg. All right? I don't know if anybody's coined that before, but I'm taking credit for it. Snute is the Rocky Zerg. He takes all the hits. And sometimes, in order to win, you just need to take enough hits. It's not necessarily about dealing them out. Special walling on the low ground of backwater here. And we'll see if Snute tries to pressure that at all. Is this a... No, it's just a standard pull first. No gas, nothing like that. Oh my god, those birds. But it seems Snute, ever defensive. This is a defensive pull first. It's not... There's no intent to do real damage. It's mostly to prevent damage and get scouted. When you go for this, most of the time... Like, he's only making 2 links. He's got plenty of drones. You're just getting your queens out faster. You have access to speed. Actually, about the same time. Maybe about the same time you usually would. But it gives you a few more options against things like proxy racks. Okay. A Reaper first. And it is a bit vulnerable to go for the low ground wall. Now, the key point here is that the third base, the pocket base, can't be attacked on the ground, essentially. So I have to imagine that's why he is walling off like this, is to get access to that third base, or at least show Snute that he wants access to third base. But there's no way to get through with these Zerglings. He's also able, fun fact, to send the Reaper out. If he doesn't wall off like this, the Reaper would usually have to stay at home to defend against potential lings. But he does get a scout with it, which is pretty nice. Alright. A little bit of dodging of Reapers there. Now, the question, will Snute try to take this base, or will he take the pocket base? As a Zerg player, you gotta have a bigger discussion about... Oh my god. Jesus. Oh, you get him. Okay, there you go. Get out of here. Ooh, is that his spine? Rated R for wrecked. But taking the pocket base opens you up to a whole round of shenanigans. Liberators, especially range liberators, drops, even siege tank pushes can have some effect here. I mean, they're not great, but of course it also is more defensible on the ground. Thank you for cheering me. I hope to commentate good games. I want to thank my fans. I hope to have good casting in the next round. And I want to thank my practice partners, and thank you for supporting me, and thank you for cheering me. Oh god, you dirty Terran. Once again, I've not watched these games. I know the scores, but I wasn't able to catch them live, which makes it all the more exciting for me. This is just range liberators, isn't it? Yeah, it's not a battle cruiser. As much as I would love it to be a battle cruiser, it's not a battle cruiser. And this is, no. Oh my. Well. Advanced ballistics are on the way. The Liberator range. And he's taking a third during it. If Snute was a cheesier player, he might have been able to... Like last game, he tried to break through. And it didn't go quite as well. This game, he doesn't seem to be interested in that same idea. He's making 4 roaches. Okay. At about the same time he did the previous match. 7? Okay. Oh, never mind. I take it all back. He wants to attack. You don't make 7 roaches with no scouting, or has he even seen the third? That actually might have triggered this. He hasn't seen the third yet. He could come in a little closer. This is an attack out of Snute here. He's going to try to put pressure on before Special can really have units, essentially. Like, Hellions aren't going to cut it. He has to put some pressure on with these roaches. It's not an all-in. Just because he's attacking doesn't mean it's all-in, but it's a big investment. And now he's going for the lair, the drones, the Evo chambers behind. There's already a Liberator on the way, and Advanced Ballistics is seconds from completion. And I'm pretty sure... Oh, no. Can Snute even see it? I mean, yes. Oh. But, and then it backs off, and then... Oh! Meanwhile... Oh... Well, no more of that base. The Hellions are coming in. There's still a couple Ravagers. He wants to take a couple shots on the Liberator. They are dodged. And Snute's attack is shut down with... Oh my god. One Queen can hit it. He could just... Those are my official thoughts. I'm glad I could convey my thoughts here. Dirty, dirty Terran. Juanito, please. It's just untouchable. You can't hit it from the ground. Ravagers may be able to get a corrosive bout, but I'm not 100% sure. He takes a shot. Oh, from the other side. Is there even a lair? There is a lair now. The Hellion's coming through. He doesn't have blue flame. This Liberator's still here. Did Snute just use the select all army hotkey? I think he did. Liberator trying to... There's two Liberate. Wait, he's gonna miss with this shot. Oh, no, wait. No, that's way off. Oh, no. Jesus. Oh, no. The Venn diagram of freedom. Justice reigns from above. And now Snute feels, I believe the only way to describe it is like a bitch. And he's Special's bitch right now. Because these Liberators are completely denying one of his bases. He's already down to 63 drones against 76 SCVs. 4 bases. I mean, the supplies are even, but the game is not. He still hasn't killed these Liberators. He has to attack. Special, getting his 1-1. It's almost done here. There may be a small window where Snute can do damage. Oh, the scan. The Viking giving extra vision range. Look away. Look away. This is not safe for Zerg. Yeah, survive. At first I was afraid, I was petrified. I knew that Liberator range had got me in its sights, but then I didn't want to attack. I didn't want to type GG, but at the end of the day, Terran was OP. And now Special's up by 30 supply. He's up by 20 workers. He's got upgrades. He's got all the bases. Oh my god. It just keeps happening. He can't catch a break. There's no Spire yet. He's building Liberators. Oh my god. The freedom. Oh god. Some queens will survive. It doesn't matter though, like, there's no army, like, you could be like, oh, Snute's building up supply, he's almost at 150, he's got Snute, does he not, he has a hive. If Special fails this and the next attack, then Snute has a chance. We're finally seeing Liberators die. But +2's finishing up. This base is gone. Oh my god. Just hear the sound of the tank shots. The Crucio cannons. I mean, he's got a few blinding clouds. Special will have to lose this army and another army to make this even close right now. I mean, Snute once again. The Rocky Zerg. Oh my god. The blinding cloud is incredible. He needs one more. Does he have one more? Some corrosive biles. They're good. But he's still kind of boxed in. And Snute. Okay. All right. All right. Well, Snute holds. And he pushes back. The Rocky Zerg survives another round. Oh, no. Please tell me there's like 2 corruptors. Nope. But Special's nearly maxed out again. He's at even... Snute has to hold again. But how? Oh my god. They're so far away, they can't even get pulled in. The tanks don't even have to siege here, but they will. Where are the Vipers? This Viper doesn't have enough energy for a blinding cloud. How many Vipers? He has 3 Vipers. What are the upgrades? +2 Carapace is about to finish. Ultraless Cavern on the way. That's maybe not going to be enough. But without blinding clouds, and I say clouds, not cloud, but clouds. He needs multiple. Snute has been getting beat up this entire game. It might be the Rocky Zerg's time to tap out. He's going to have one more fight. But at this point, even if he wins the fight, that's still far from winning the game. Beautiful clouds. None of the tanks can fire. Well, very few. Incredible breakout. And Snute fights back once again. He's still got 60 drones. Oh. Oh! Ah!
Your dedication will be rewarded.
How do you get your hair so fabulous?
Pure passion. 29 kills. And just think about the mining time. Will somebody think about the mining time? But Snute already is ahead on supply. Snute can hold, but he never pushes back. Not far enough. I don't know. I mean, he's right now. Special's been in the pilot seat of those Liberators and the driver's seat of the Hellions and the siege tanks this whole match. Snute is somehow still in the game with 5 bases. I don't know how. I don't know how he does it, but he holds on to fight another day. Special playing mech like he plays Bile, just throwing units everywhere. Incredibly cost and effective. He's lost 5,000 more resources this game and almost as many units. But he has all of the bases, all of the money, 80 SCVs. He's literally playing mech like Zerg. Well, a conventional swarm-style Zerg. And this time, the tank line runs deep. There's just not enough in the way. Oh, the Vipers! The Vipers! Oh, no. He's going to get maybe 2 blinding clouds. This could be it. There's still too many tanks firing. The blinding clouds are going to run out. Well, wait. Wait. Hold. Hold. Ah! Another one! The Vikings will land in the main. Snute will hold again. But there are Vikings on the ground in the main base with no HP. killing the Spore Crawler that tried to kill the... Oh my god. An Ultralisk will Snute is counterattacking. Snute is attacking. Oh my god. Oh my god. 28 drones have... Oh my god, there's another one! 67 drones have died. Snute is bleeding out. He's been bleeding out for like 12 minutes now. But the queens will come up. Liberators everywhere. The base is gone. The drones are gone. Snute has something resembling an army. Ah! And there's still a Liberator denying this base. 34 drones. Oh my god. And Special is sitting on 80 ST. Oh. But Snute is making 3 more Vipers. Oh, oh. Incredible corrosive bios. He nails down 2. The Ultras won't die. But I think this is it. That tank volley. Oh god. Yeah, that's... Oh my. And Snute. He's coming back for another round. Corrosive bios again. But he doesn't have the economy to support this anymore. There's 2 Ultras left. There's a single-digit number of fighting units. Oh my god. The Vipers have to use their energy to pull in the Liberator. But Special is rolling across the map. Jeez. Just power mech. No finesse, just brute force. Well, the finesse was in the Liberators. And Snute taps out. Special, once again, beating him down. This time, from the very start. In the last game, at least Snute looked like he had an okay start. He was given some space. He was given some space. He was given some time. In this game, from the first Liberator siege up, somehow, this game lasted 12, 13 more minutes past the first Liberator siege, which is a testament to the Rocky Zerg. But I don't just Special. Never at any point I think was at a big risk of losing, but at so many points was at a severe risk of winning.
Will be rewarded.
Thank you, Hitman. Alright. So. Well, now Snute's up against the ropes. Special. What a noob! Misplaces his first depot. Does that indicate he's crumbling mentally? Find out more by the time this game ends. Alright. Snute, for the first time, will go for the hatch first, using Neon Violet Square and just the sheer size of the map. Going to be scouting for proxies, though, as well. We will see. And he looks like a CC first out of Special. Everybody being green here.
Your dedication will be rewarded.
Hooray. Let Winter Gaming know it's your 2-month anniversary.
Thank you,
Your
Warm Man.
dedication will be rewarded.
So nothing, well, plenty will happen in the first several minutes of the game, but nothing will kill each other. There's literally just not going to be units for a little while. As both players play in Neon Violet Square, the largest map in the pool, very greedily. It's going to be a double gas immediately after. It looks like he wants to be able to get a factory right out of the gate after the CC first. Snute getting just enough in the way of gas for speed, and then pulling off for maximum mineral income. Special going for a Reaper first, but we should see a factory very soon. There it is. He's finished the command center. Will Snute come in? Will he be able to figure this out? He gets a scout. That actually doesn't give away much. He's not 100% sure it's a CC first, unless he really knows that there's not going to be a reactor on that if he went CC first. He might know. Better than me. But checking around for Lings, maybe trying to counterattack. Remember, Special has not SCV scouted any of these games, so he doesn't know if Snute is going for an early pull or something like that. He's just kind of gambling a little bit, but also hedging his bets. A starport on the way. Immediately into Hellions. That's a pretty big catch. If he loses more than a couple... Snute just makes Lings. I wasn't even paying attention, but he just kind of made Lings here. And, well, now all the benefit of going CC first is gone. He just made Lings. So Special, without a wall because of that CC first, and without units because of that CC first, losing 6 SCVs. Any benefit he gained from not SCV scouting, from going for that command center, is gone. It's evaporated. In fact, Snute is solidly in the lead now. 43 drones, and, importantly, a full scout. So, starting off on the right foot here is Snute. I don't know if he recognized it was a CC first or he was just making the Lings in general. But it pans out, and now Special is just kind of behind. He's actually expanding on the... You gotta take risks, I guess. But this means that Special both has to play greedy and doesn't really have the money to put on a ton of pressure and also make SCVs. He has to cut, cut SCVs, or he has to cut production of units, because he just doesn't have the income he customarily would have at this timing. There's a Raven is the choice. So, more than likely going to be mech here. This is before. There are no auto turrets here. There is access to a repair drone. And just generally having a Raven is almost never a bad idea if you can afford it. Oh, the Ling gets in. Gonna get a full, Special. He's microing his Hellions on the other side. The Ling gets 100% into the base. Sees everything. Did he see the third CC? No, but he probably suspects it. A Viking comes in. It's racked up 1 Overlord kill, and that's it. Roaches will deflect the Hellions on the right side. A Raven on the way. I'm not sure what the Raven really going to do with this. Don't want to get caught in the squares here. The Roach counterattack. It seems Snute has really just heavily been going for Roaches here. And there's not that much to defend. There are 2 Cyclones on the way. There is a repair drone ready. The base, very thankfully for Special, did finish. Now, this is not nearly an all-in attack out of Snute. He did cut some drones for this, but he has plenty of map control behind. There's a couple Cyclones. And this is almost guaranteed to do some damage. The repair drone going to help out, but there are a lot of Lings in the front as well. Targeting down the Hellbats. Snute just getting on top of all these units, continuing the momentum. Special got greedy, went for a third. Corrosive Bow's going to land and actually kill a lot of those SCVs. 11 more going down. He can't really afford it. There's a Banshee finally, but 16 SCVs are already in the dirt. Snute might not be able to end the game here, but he's certainly taken a commanding lead. This all just kind of spiraled. The command center first, punished, and now Special, but his third base, punished once again. Worker count, 25 to 60. This is almost enough to tap out. This is the WCS Leipzig final, well, not the finals, but the final bracket. So you don't tap out yet. You're a 3 command center Terran. There's always a dream. But it's more like a nightmare. This game, not as back and forth as our previous games. This game is all Snute, just kind of beating Special up. But you don't tap out yet. You have a Banshee, you got 3 command centers. You're going towards mech. But Snute has had the space and the leeway to get his upgrades. Get speed and Hydralisk with speed. Plenty of creep spread. I'm surprised we don't see a 4th base yet. The Banshee might be able to pick up 1 or 2 kills, but the Queens are already on point. He's really trying, but maybe a little bit too hard. And it looks like Snute would double the supply. Looking to lay down a knockout blow before Special can stabilize it all. Road speed is almost done, but the Hellions will retreat back through the squares. There's a couple tanks. That's a lot of roaches. And they have 1-1 done. He's just going to eat Prashant's the Hellbat. I mean, the tanks and the Hellbats are pretty cost-effective in that scenario, but he gets a tank. And honestly, trading 7-8 roaches for a tank is not out of the question right now for Snute. I'm wondering where his 4th base is, but I guess he's just going for... He's trying to end it. Splits to minimize the damage from the tanks, but there's 2 more. The Hydras in the back doing a pretty good job. Another tank has to retreat. He has vision with the Overseer. Good splits from the Hydras will take out another tank. And Special will hold. But for how long? Another tank being repaired. Taken down. GG. He scanned. He saw. He knew there was no comeback here. That wasn't all in from Snute by a long shot. It wasn't like he had to break him. He could have just backed off and still been way ahead. So, we're going to the decider. So that was just Special not really thinking that Snute would make like 8 Zerglings. That was kind of silly.
Will be rewarded.
I had a mini heart attack when I saw that my sub wasn't renewed. I was afraid to lose the X month in a row, but it seems that I'm back on the track. Yahoo.
Yahoo. It's going to be decided on Acid Plant. It seems a lot of these games are dependent on... I'm zoning out for a sec. What was the other game that Snute won? It was game 2. No, game 1. He won game 1. Okay. I think. Oh my god. Oh yeah, on Catalyst. I remember now. Where Special won for the Ghost Hellion build. Ghost Hellbat. But Snute got a lot of good counterattacks and was able to get the damage done. It seems like the trend is that if Special is allowed to do whatever it is he wants to do for the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game, he just puts on so much pressure that Snute isn't quite able to keep up. Very close, but not quite able. Whereas if Snute is able to throw Special off even a little bit, well, or a lot of it, with some Zergling counterattacks or a timing, well, then it goes back the other way. All Snute needs is a little bit of a lead, and then he carries that through. Special, a very momentum-based player, and Snute is a master of slowing down that momentum. As you saw in the games he did lose, even the games where he has multiple sieged-up Liberators that he can't even see on his bases, he still held on. In almost is a strong word, but he wasn't far off bringing it back. It was still rough the entire game, but he should have died many times, but he didn't. So. The Lings are splitting out to dodge the Reaper. It looks like Special going to be opening up with the Hellions once again. Snute with speed. I'll pull a first and probably a third. The Reaper actually went straight across this time, which means the Lings could potentially get a slight delay on the CC. Special sees the hatch, the creep, that hasn't really reached out that far. He knows this was a pull first, but he's already pulled 2 SCVs. The Ling's trying to get in. The Reaper almost on its way back. He pulled 2 SCVs in case there were more Lings than 2, but 2 Lings he should be able to deal with. Snute not quite there in time to delay this command center. The SCV gets low, but an appropriate response, very quick, and handled just fine. Oh, did we miss it? Thanks, Comcast. So pretty much what happened is Snute tried to come in, delay the CC. Didn't happen. There you go. That was it. That was the entire thing. Now Snute going back to his, I'm not going to say trademarked, but his classic queen style. Just pushing out the creep very quickly. On this map, interestingly, you don't really need a creep tour between the main and the net, which allows you to get more creeps spread out forward, because the creeps almost touch. They can almost smell each other. That's weird. But there's only a split second that queens would be off creep, going back and forth. So Snute investing that extra creep tumor towards the front. On the other side, we have Special opting for a Liberator first, and his first quicker bio build. He's adding on stim. Now, this doesn't mean he's going for a stim timing, but he just has the resources is the way this build works out. We're going to see a little bit of pressure, and, oh, Snute, does he actually see it? He saw the barracks was landing. He didn't see a starport, so he doesn't know 100%, but, yeah, he knows the third base timing. Snute has a pretty good idea. Another Zergling counterattack trying to come in, but the wall is tight. So it doesn't look like Snute has too many options. Now notice the timing Special is bringing these things in. The Hellions are going to be at the front. This will draw the Queens out of position. It looks like the Liberator has been spotted, but the Hellions must be deflected as well. Are there any more Lings? He's actually going to go by. There's not that many Lings. Another Queen pops out at a very opportune time, and the Liberator's going to siege up. The drones are on the chase. I'm not sure that's where they want to be. 7 so far. And he's using the Liberator range to help out. 7 drones for, well, 6 Hellions. The Liberator survives. So, all things considered, well, all things considered, not bad. Not bad here. Oh, you can just kind of go through that. Okay. It could have been much worse for Snute. And Special spent all his Hellions. And that's how Snute knows there's probably not Hellbats. Because if you throw away all your Hellions, you're not going for Hellbats. That much is obvious. Snute going for the counterattack. He has 46 drones, so this isn't all in. Unfortunately, a tank has just sieged up. Does Snute just go for it? Oh no, all the Banelings are stacked up. The tank shots hurt badly. He's going to get through. The Liberator going to siege up, but not enough units made it here. The Baneling's not going to close the distance. The tank doesn't even go down. Snute, this attack has to be shut down. It was a good idea. If it hit 10 seconds earlier before that tank sieged up, it could have killed so many SCVs. But he should have seen the tank, and that's usually the cue to back off. And he delayed a layer for this. He delayed his upgrades for this. So now Special going to have a pretty significant advantage in the upgrades. He's got even SCVs. It's looking real nice for him. One. Yeah, Special has his 1-1. It's going to be ranged attack again. Snute. Wait, is he going to go straight for Hydras? Is that the choice? There's no Roach Warren this time. He's skipping the middleman. No 4th base, but plenty of creep. I think we'll see a 4th base in a moment. This is Snute getting really greedy, because there's still a pretty big timing with these medevacs here. This is very dangerous. There's a 4th base from Snute. He's gone up to 70 drones. And immediately a Hydra in the infestation pit. He's leaving himself vulnerable to some timings here. I mean, if he can hold on. The creep spread is good. The creep spread buys time. Special doesn't have 1-1, doesn't have combat shields yet, so he can't push through. His armory's a little bit late, so that means he's not going to start 2-2 immediately. A Liberator was spotted on its way up to the north, but the Queen's not quite on point in position. And since the Queens are on the other side of the map, Special is free to clear out all of this creep. The Liberator still 4 kills in the main. The Queen's trying to respread the creep. There's a drop going towards the left side. Special laying on the pressure once again. The creep has been removed over a lot of the middle of the map. He needs to replace that if he wants to maintain any sort of map control. The 4th base is under fire. There are really no units in position. There are plenty on this right side. He's going to be able to shut down the drop. Looks like Special decides to pick up. He's not risking any of those Marines. Snute respreading the creep. He's down on supply, but Special doesn't have the army to bring to bear quite yet. 4th base under fire. He's going to be forced to cancel. That's a big loss. It was almost done. More creep being taken out. Just the methodical way that Special is taking out these creep tumors and bases is absolutely incredible. He draws the Queens out of position with the Liberator. He ties some more up on the left side with a drop. And then he pushes on the right, so he forces the units to decide where to commit. And where the units don't commit is where he can kill Queens or kill creep. So just very logical, but also very quick on the multitasking there. And making sure units are all doing useful things at useful times. But Snute, once again, holds on. He doesn't have a 4th base. Special is halfway through his. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. 2-2 is on the way. But a ton of tanks. And tanks are the biggest danger to this unit composition. You get enough, you get a critical mass. The 4th base is going to be dropped once again. There's no way this is getting up. Wait. Yeah, okay. There's no way. You can target it down. Or he'll just go for the Lings. There are no Hydras here to contest this. There's not that much creep to either see this coming or help move around. Some more Queens into the main. He could try to drop on top. He goes to the corner. He decides he doesn't want to go this direction. A forward sensor tower Special is near maxed out, and he's going for 2-2. That is when it's time to... Well, it's time to push now. We should see an unsiege and a move out. Because he wants to try to do critical damage before Hive Tech. There's already Ultras on the way, but there's a lot of tanks. And those Ultras can be targeted down. That's not the be-all, end-all. Especially because there is... what am I trying to say? There's no 4th base for Snute. The 4th base is what gives you the money to trade, essentially. Against a Terran player, oh my god, the transfuses. Who has better heals? But here comes the 2-2, here comes the tank push. Snute with Ultras. Chitinous plating still half a minute away. There's still a threatening attack. Special going right up the gut. He's constricting these bases. Snute is not maxed out. He doesn't have 2-2 done. Snute can't fight yet. Special still doesn't have 2-2. The 4th base is under fire. The Queens are out of position. He needs the Queens to be able to transfuse the Ultralisk. Mainling speed has completed. One Ultra finds itself in an awkward position. It's going to have to bear the brunt. The hero list goes down. There's another Ultra where that came from. Are there any more transfuses? He's almost out of energy. He's holding on. The transfuses keep the Ultra intact. It will eventually be taken out. But the drop has done some damage on the other side. Special is able to hold some of his ground, and he's killing a lot of the Queens. But Snute holds, and he's got a 4th base on the right side. Special scans it immediately, continuing to push forward. The Liberators are in position, but there are tanks, Liberators, Marines, and Ultra pushing through the front. Snute trying to carry this across the map, trying to take out the tanks, trying to reset the army out of Special, but he's going to have to push on to a high ground. It's 64 drones against 73 SCVs. It's 3 bases versus 4. But Snute is ahead on supply. But more tanks are sieging up. It's a difficult position to engage in here. The boys are pulled. One tank falls. More Lings at the front. Snute is pushing through. He wants to go to the semifinals, and he wants it badly. The Hydras are doing a ton of damage. Special's holding on. And once again, Snute gets across the map. He's trying to bend Special to his will, but Special refuses to break. And remember, the 4th base is fully mining. 13 SCVs go down, but that just evens the numbers. +3. That was so stressful, neither player was able to start +3. They have no money. They're spending every mineral and every gas. Special finds a little bit of leeway to get just +3 weapons. A Ling counterattack. The planetary is not done yet. A bit of a mistake. Oh, no! He had the opportunity to get damage done, but the planetary is about to finish. What upgrades here? He doesn't have any upgrades on the Zerglings. A couple seconds, but there's a drop on the right. The drones have to run. The Ultra has to come to defense, but at the same time, there's a drop in the center. Snipes off an Ultra. The planetary finishes and Special holds. He's back in the supply lead. Ultra's trying to defend multiple locations, but Special actually microing his bio back and forth. Still a lot of creep spread. Importantly, Snute holds his 4th base, even if he isn't mining from it. He need... No. Oh, Snute sent... No, Snute! Pretty big mistake. He sent a lot of drones all the way back to the main. He just clicked him on the minimap away from the base, and maybe this isn't the place they want to be. They're going to have to take the journey all the way back. It's a round trip. And the drop as well. Snute losing momentum. Special catching some Hydras, just continuing to pound the point home. This base is going to go down. Snute stretched too thin. Special gets the base with a drop. Snute immediately trying to remake it. So I guess those rounds didn't matter anyways. Snute is mining out of all of his bases. The income right now going to start looking really bad in just a minute or two. But he still has queens. He still has ultralisks. But Special is just pulling him apart. Another drop tries to come in. Special is all around the map. Moving parts everywhere. Another drop comes into the natural. Snute has nothing to defend. Liberator's going around to the 3rd. Just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The wheel turns. The drones were actually fighting the Marines. Snoot still at 71 drones, by the way. Oh, no. The Ultras are a little bit too close for comfort. The Transfuses come back. He's going to be able to save both of them. The Hero List going through the front, but there are tanks at the back. Is there enough Transfuse? There are no other units here. He's splitting back. The Ultras are surviving for now. There's a couple more Transfuses, but it's not enough. Special handles the Ultralist with ease. The Liberator's coming in. Hydra's desperately trying to defend, but Special opens up the front and stabs him in the back at the same time. One medevac gonna go down, but that's nothing in comparison to half a dozen Ultras almost that have died in the last little bit. The Transfuses try to come through, but the tanks hit harder. The Hydra's trying to split out Special. Up by 60 supply. This could be it. The Hydras go down. Snute at 82. There's nothing left. GG. Special with some masterful Terran. And Snute just couldn't hold on. It's so hard to do what Special was doing there. He makes it look easy. It always looks like he's taking good fights and doing good drops. It is much harder than it looks. It's harder to explain. But let's just try to go. Let's go back to this is when the game wasn't 100% decided yet. I actually want to look at Special's camera, and we'll just point out what he's doing. I'll try to give you a first-person commentary, I guess, of what Special's doing. All right, push to the front. Adding production, getting a 4th base. Drop on the left side. This is targeting the 4th and clearing creep. Setting up the 4th, clearing creep at the front. He knows the army's coming through. He doesn't even have to look at it. He saw it on the minimap. Unsieging the tanks to prepare for a push. He sends in the army on the left side. It's already hotkeyed, so he doesn't even need to look at it. Sims it through, sees the base, will target it down. Going up to the front at the same time, re-clears the creep. Sees the queens, but sees no other units, which means he has a chance to push through, and this will draw units to the left side, giving him an opportunity to go through the center. He's continuing his production throughout all this. You can see him tabbing back. Sieges up his tanks, pulls back. He knows he's pulled the units to the left side, so he can move over to the right. And now as soon as he's pushing forward to the front, goes back to the left. Just scanning constantly in the middle to see where those units are coming from and if he needs to pull back to his tanks. Cancels the left side base. Targeting down the Ultralist, getting hit from both sides. The Stim Marines on the left side were just used. He pulls back. He just hotkeyed those 5 tanks right there. That's a little note right there. He just hotkeyed those 5 tanks very quickly. If you look at Specials. But these tanks specifically, he put on a hotkey so that way he could target fire and hit the big clumps of units. I almost missed that, but while he still has this on a separate hotkey, and he's moving it through without even looking at it. Scans to see the base, knows that's going to be a threat. Continues to fight forward. Now Snute is still pushing through, so now everything has to scramble to defend. He's just continuing. His rally point is a little far out. This is all just defense here. Pulling the boys. He's queuing up production. And when does he decide he's going to go drop again? This is the closest Snute gets to winning the game, by the way. He transferred, I believe he controlled F1, which is select all idle workers in order to move them over to his new base. Sends out a drop to the right side. He hotkeyed that on 3. He hasn't decided to drop more because he's still not sure if Snute's going to attack. It's still a dangerous time right now, because if Snute just brings all his reinforcements and attacks again, and he sends out drops, he's going to lose his 3rd base. And, well, there's something. A drop on the right side drops it outside of the creep. Attack on the left, repair, counterattack, stim forward, stutter step. Stutter back. Picks up the drop. Back to mining. I think it was out of SCVs again. Drop is hotkeyed separately. These units are hotkeyed on 1. He actually just rallied out his starport to the right side, separately from the rest of his rally points, because he has his... Something to note, his production is different. He actually has separate rally points. I didn't even think of this, but there's a benefit of putting your production on separate hotkeys. His barracks, his factories, and his starport are on a separate hotkey. He just rallied his starport. It looks like he re-rallied it here, unfortunately, but he rallied it to the corner for a second there. But you can set different rally points for each of your units, like if you're making liberators and want to send them out. So that's a benefit of that. What did he just do there? Did he just kill his own... What? Yeah, almost killed his own tech lab. All the units have been brought into the first hotkey now, besides the drop on the right. Catches these units, I mean, why not? Sees that base is going to go down. Oh, little mess up on the pickup there. Scans forward, sees the creep, and sees if anything there's on the other side. Going to scan for the base, but now he realizes this location is not that big of a deal to necessarily attack. He'll go as far as he wants to, but there's no reason he needs to hold this location this second. Yeah, gonna back off as soon as he clears the creep. He's just want to remove any map control. We've got the Liberators on the right. We've got the drop in the front. The Liberators are going over to the right side. His main army is rotating back because he's going to rotate over towards that right side where the 4th base is coming in. Drop in the net. That one's separately hotkeyed. His tanks are separately hotkeyed as well. The army moving forward. Going to clear some of the creep over to the right side. The Liberator's going for the 3rd. Targeting down the Hydralisk there. And then picking up and getting out from the drones. Otherwise, he would have lost the medevac. Getting on top of this base. Going towards the right side. There's another drop coming in. Stimming and stuttering against the Ultralisk. Scan, sees that's the main army. Gonna need to spend some time microing here. Target down the Ultras. Doing the best he can. Splitting micro back. He's adding on. He's producing during all of this, by the way. He keeps going back to his production. Targets down all the Ultras. That base still taking damage. Realizes the Liberator's in a good position. Gonna redrop. Gets on top of the Queens. There's still the threat on the right side. That's only the only real threat here. Will he scan the right, or will he just go for the attack?
Upgrade.
But he has his tank separately hotkeyed in order to be able to target fire. The bio is separately hotkeyed in order to be able to split and target fire without messing with the tanks. There you go. You see the tank shift click through. Just continues pushing forward. And GG. But whenever there's a risk of a base coming up, Special kind of casts a wider net is what happens. He casts a wider net. As in, he's sending out drops and counterattacks and liberators. But if he's already pressured a base, he goes up the center. Because that puts more pressure on your opponent getting another base. So after he's killed a 4th base is when he goes for an attack, because that's when they're going to be stretched the most thin. And he's going to have the most units together because he doesn't have to worry about taking out other bases. When Snute defends, he starts expanding out again, attacking on the left, on the right, Liberators in the main, and makes it so Snute can't really commit to an attack because otherwise he's going to lose bases. That's how it works. That's the general idea. So just do that and you'll be fine. Easy peasy.